3, 2, 1.
Welcome to DFW Roundtable Podcast, Texas' most powerful and entertaining podcast, bringing you the best and entertaining interviews from the industry's top music entertainers, sports athletes, and much more. So grab a seat and a cold one and watch, listen, and enjoy. And now here is your host, Joey Campos.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the DFW Roundtable Podcast. It is truly my pleasure to introduce my next guest, and it's family member, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the Chief Financial Operating Officer for Texas Family Health Network in Dallas, Texas. It's my pleasure to bring down Joey Campos. Joey, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me. It's been a long time coming.
It has, man. It has. And folks, you probably heard about me announcing Texas Family Health Network on the show as one of our proud sponsors. And it's truly my pleasure to have them on and talk a little bit about their services. They provide some unique services that goes above and beyond to go out and help everybody else. And I'm going to have Joey we're going to go through this a little bit more and talk a little bit about, number one, your health. Number two, preventive things that you could do. And most importantly for men, you want to hang on, guys. Don't hang up just yet, because there's a lot of good stuff coming for us men that sometimes we take for granted. And it's real important that you listen and hear what's out there. And it's ready available now for you to take advantage of. So, Joey, again, man, thanks for coming on, dude. How was your New Year, brother?
Fantastic. Every day is a blessing. When you're surrounded with a phenomenal family like we are in faith, there is never a challenge that's too big or an obstacle that gets too complicated. So congratulations to you also on all your success with the podcast. And we've always been involved with music, and music has always been a huge thing in our life since we were growing up. And so it's good to be part of something that we've always talked about doing. And so congratulations to you and your family and the boys, and just thank you for having me on here and part of your huge world of a podcast success.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much, brother. And this is something I've been earning to have on the show as a way to give back to our listeners and our viewers, right? Because this is important. Health, when it comes down to everybody, is important. It's the beginning of the year, as you well know, Joey. Right now, everybody's New Year's resolution is to lose weight, get healthier. 6 weeks in, the discipline starts to drop, right? So there's a lot of new stuff out in the market right now. It makes it easier. It's not as hard as it used to be, but it still takes a little bit of will and determination to get it done. So first and foremost, let's talk about Texas Family Health Network, man. How long have you guys been open, and what type of services do you all offer, man? Because it's like I said, it's a complete service unit that's servicing South Texas. Yeah,
for sure. Well, first and foremost, all glory to God, because without Him, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we've been today. We opened up. I think we're probably circling around the 8-month period now. We've had a few obstacles in the way. All of this could not be possible without my wife, Amanda. She is pretty much the nucleus, like they say, of this whole operation. Texas Family Health actually started off real small with Elite Rejuvenation. Okay. And I'll use myself as an example. I was struggling with weight. I was super busy at work, and full-time. I was full-time paramedic, and knocking out crazy hours, and I was knocking around 358 pounds, bro. So I was hauling around all of that craziness, and started experiencing, with coffee and monsters and all this other stuff, guilty of everything. Started experiencing some chest pain and some muscle aches, and started getting some injuries. And so, my wife, being the stickler that she is, she was like, hey, I can't be, helping other people get healthy and have my husband being in that condition. And so, she put me through the ringer, all the cardiologists and then the whole doctors and everything. And so they prescribed me some Manjaro. And even through my insurance, I was looking at like $1,300 a month. And so I was like, man, I don't know that I want to get healthy that bad, you know? And
That's pretty
so
costly.
um,
Yeah.
we looked into it. And then before you knew it, I was like, no, there's a possibility for us to be able to go out and get licensed to actually not only take it for myself, but distribute it. And so we went out, we got licensed, we created Elite Rejuvenation, which was, not only a godsend for me, but for a lot of people. And so we were able to start not only distributing the weight loss meds, but we went into the aesthetic side. So we're doing Botox, lip fillers, IV IV therapy, which was huge, especially in South Texas with our athletes. And so she finished her nurse practitioner. She got licensed. So we had an opportunity to open up a clinic in Alice, and we took advantage of that. And so now Texas Family Health is has come to fruition, right? We still have Elite Rejuvenation. It's still an option. So now with Texas Family Health, you have the ability to. It's a full family practice. So you come in, and you can get seen for just about anything. Now, um, being Hispanic and being in South Texas, it's all about privacy and convenience. And we are trying to corner that market. Okay. We know that a lot of people don't like to get seen with the doctor. We used to, we hear it. We don't want to go to the doctor because we don't want to know what's going on. Right. And so we have people come in, we make it convenient for them. We're trying to take a little bit of what used to work back in the day, where it was a very personal, it was a personal relationship that you had with your doctor. And so we try to streamline everything as far as your paperwork and your family history. We bring you in, we can conveniently run your labs there in the office, right? So you don't have to go out to an outsource to get it done. We and then we visit with you, and we try to um you'll have several people technically attend to you, right? We get all the information that we need, and so when Amanda goes in there, she's able to have a lot more eye contact instead of just looking at the computer and typing in there and making sure that we can get you in and out. Um, and we make it a little bit more personable, and so that we can concentrate on the things that you haven't done, find out what's going on with you, and then work forward. Um, so it's opened up huge windows because with Elite Rejuvenation, we were tackling the weight loss for people that wouldn't qualify. You know, the medical world is silly. Like, you have to have certain conditions to qualify. Pretty much have to be a diabetic to
Yeah, man. They make
qualify
it
for the
really
weight loss.
super
Yeah,
difficult nowadays, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of hitting those barriers where you're almost there, instead of trying to prevent you from being, critically ill, they wait for you to be there before you
Right.
start qualifying for
Right.
some of these medications. And so we were offering it, and it was cash based, and people were taking advantage of it. Right? It was a very it still is very successful. Um, but what we were doing differently is that we were monitoring the process, and we're still monitoring the process. So you come in as a patient, and we weigh you, and we go through all the signs and symptoms, and we talk to you about what this medication is going to do. We give you options, right, based on cost, and what we think will work for you. But mainly, and this is something that has been very successful for us and people really appreciate it. But when it comes down to the marketing world, you may not necessarily hear a lot about Elite Rejuvenation because we don't market our customers,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Your weight loss journey is yours to tell. And so we don't put you on Facebook. We don't do any of that stuff. And it's really appreciated. And then as far as the marketing world, it kind of hurts us a little bit because you don't get to see the results. And the results are huge.
No, but I think
Um,
it carries some. I actually, Joe, it carries some integrity with it, right? Because by the same token, you're leaving it up to the patient to share their journey, whether they say, "Hey, look, this is what I'm doing. This is the treatment I'm taking," or whether they just keep it to themselves. It's their business, and basically, that's what you're saying. I'm not going to capitalize on your improvements and say, "Look what I did." You're leaving it entirely up to them.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
good.
and for us, we have good data. We've got, because I'm a patient as well. And so, in a little over a year, to be exact, I guess maybe almost 14 months or so. Don't quote me on that, but it's been over a year. I started off at 358 pounds. I'm down to 243.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I mean, it's a huge difference.
All right,
And
man.
so,
So I got to ask you, Joe, because
okay,
I know viewers are saying, okay, wait. So I can lose that much. So you're a prime example, male,
okay, yeah,
right? From a male perspective, we get tired. You know, we get home, man, we're done. Um, Very low self esteem at that point, right? Because you're carrying a lot of body weight and so forth, man. So from the minute you start the treatment to about a month, what is the expected, or what's been the average? And I know it varies, right? It's got to vary in different people, different body types, and so forth. But from an average perspective, what can someone expect? Hey, within 4 to 6 weeks, you can expect this as long as you follow this.
yeah. So we've got two main methods, right? If you're looking at going on the you don't think you're going to qualify, and you don't have any insurance, and you need to lose weight, you've got two options, right off the bat. You're going to have semaglutide, which is like Ozempic or Wegovy, right? And then you have tirzepatide, which is like Mounjaro. Now, they're called GLP-1s, right? Semaglutide is a little bit more, not so aggressive. It may take you a little longer to lose the weight, where tirzepatide has two GLP-1s. It's a little bit more aggressive, right? So everybody's technically different. I can tell you for me, let's say it's a weekly injection. Let's say I started on a Monday. I can tell you by Tuesday, I already felt like, because I'm a breakfast guy, right? I was already Tuesday. I was like, wait a minute, I'm not really ready for breakfast yet. By Wednesday, I was like, what is going on? And I wasn't a believer. And here's the crazy part, that I look at pictures now of myself back then, and I didn't see it.
Yeah,
I didn't see how big I was. I couldn't. I mean, it's crazy how that is. And to now, I
yeah,
was like, how come nobody told me I was this big? Right? Like, holy
right.
mackerel! And
Yep.
so technically, the literature states that within the medication takes about 2 to 3 weeks to really prime up, right? And so we start you off. It's based on an escalating scale, okay? And so I'll give you an example. Let's talk about tirzepatide, right? Because that's the medication that I was on. You start off at 2.5, and sometimes people they get on these medications with their primary doctor, and they don't get the education that they need. And what I mean by that, and by no way, shape, or form, I'm trying to tell you that your doctor
Yeah,
is
yeah,
not
yeah.
not not cutting it, right? What I'm trying to tell you is that there's certain things, like I'll tell you, especially if, let's say it was a female, I'm going to tell you, hey, this is what you're going to do. We're going to start you on today, on a Monday, okay, or a Friday, let's say, per se, whatever the day it is. We're going to start you on today. And what I need you to do is I need you to go weigh yourself, put your scale right in the restroom or in the same place that you're going to start weighing yourself. Weigh yourself. And then I want you to go into the closet, and I want you to put something on that used to make you feel like, no, hombre, like, Saturday night,
Yeah,
I'm going to look
yeah.
pretty
Dapper.
nice.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And I want you to put it on, and as ridiculous as you may look in it, right? I want you to squeeze it on, and I take a picture of yourself, hide it, put it away. And then I want you to revisit that outfit in a week. Okay? And I want you to weigh yourself once and then weigh yourself again for another 3 weeks, as difficult as it may be. We live in a world where we want instant gratification, and that can be
Mm-hmm.
difficult. Okay.
Right.
But a lot of people, including myself, will lose inches before they lose the pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Other people will start noticing it on you, especially around the face, right? Before you start noticing it on yourself. So the inches will come off pretty quickly, and then before you know it, the pounds will start to catch up. And so they get on 2.5, and then in 4 weeks they get bumped up. When our goal is to get you off of this medication once you reach your goal. So you come in, we weigh you, we talk about what your goal is, and then we get you there. A lot of the times you're not going to need to get out of two bumps from it. So it's 2.5, and then you're going to be at
Yeah.
5. Some people
Right.
reach their goals at 5. And then they decide, you know what, it was pretty easy. I'm going to continue and I'm going to have a new goal. Okay. We weigh you, we keep evaluating you to make sure that we're doing this progression healthy. If you come to us in a week's, in a month's time, and you say, "Hey, I lost 45 pounds," we're gonna pump the brakes, right? We're gonna be like, "Whoa, that's excessive." We're gonna reevaluate you. We're gonna start making sure we can run your labs. We're gonna do all of that stuff because we want to make sure you're doing it on a healthy note.
The
Okay?
healthy way. Yeah.
Exactly. And so now with Texas Family Health Network, you come in, you become a patient. We talk about what it is that you want to do. Whether it's just you have the flu, you need a primary care physician, you had an episode, you went to the emergency room and you haven't had a doctor in a long time, become one of our patients. We're going to run your labs. We're going to see where you're at. And we're going to come out with whatever plan we need to get you healthy. Okay. If weight loss is what you want to do, then we use your insurance. If you have insurance, we're going to come in, we're going to run your labs. We're going to run your all your panels, your hormone panels as well. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Which is 100% covered by anybody's insurance right off the
Yes.
bat, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
And you may already qualify for a weight loss medication.
Correct.
Okay. Let's say your labs are not where they need to be, but you have been diagnosed with sleep apnea, or you have signs that you may have sleep apnea. Nobody, bro, wants to take a sleep
Sleep
study.
test.
Nobody
Mhm.
does.
Right.
Right. But here's what you don't know about today's age, 2026. We have a company that works with us, and you come to Texas Family Health. You're not going to have to go to a random place and have these wires hooked up. We put you in the system. They send you this probe to your house. You wear the probe at night. That's your sleep study. It comes
Wow.
after a couple of days. You send it off. We get back, and you're like, "Yeah, here's all the data." They stop breathing this many times in the middle of the night. They're not getting REM sleep, all this other stuff. So
So
that
no more having to go into somebody else's office yeah. Okay.
that
That's
no longer.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yep. Everything is done at the convenience of your own home. Who wants to go sleep at a random
Yeah.
bed?
Right.
I'm not sure if you ever did a sleep study before, but it's not
Never.
fun. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know how to expect you to sleep with all these wires hooked up to your head and all kinds of stuff. I can see where it was the necessity behind it, but it's just not convenient for anybody. Nobody wants to do it. And so, as a matter of fact, a couple of days ago, we just had somebody qualify, um, and get on their weight loss journey through their insurance, primarily because of the sleep study.
So let me ask you this, man. So is a sleep study also covered through the insurance as well?
Yeah, well, it's all based on what kind of insurance you have. But for the
Okay.
most part, if you see the signs and the symptoms, right? And Amanda does a phenomenal job of documenting, right? Getting all the due diligence and all the paperwork. We've had an unbelievable amount of emergency experience. So documenting is one of her keys, right? She's good at doing all that stuff. And so we do the office does a good work of making sure they do all the work, make sure they find everything that you need to qualify. And sometimes you don't qualify. You don't meet the criteria. And if that's the case, then we have other options like Elite Rejuvenation, which is down the hall. And you can sit down and see what those options are.
So
and
let's
see
go
the
through that.
cost effectiveness.
Let's go through that. So let's go through that. I think that's important. So basically, if you qualify, you're in like Flint. You don't have to
Yes.
worry about it, right? You're gonna be covered.
Yeah.
But say your insurance, it makes it a little bit more difficult and says you don't qualify, unfortunately. So take us through that path. What are we looking at from a cost perspective here?
A cost perspective,
hmm
you're going to be looking at the cost, and I can get those numbers here in a few minutes because I just need to pull them up. But the initial consult, we're gonna waive that when it comes down
Wow.
to the private pay. Right? You're gonna come in. We're gonna take a look at you. We're gonna assess you, and we'll you've already come in, you were technically already a patient, right? And your insurance doesn't cover, right? We can't get you qualified. You're going to come in. We're going to now your consult through Elite Rejuvenation, Texas Family Health is going to pick it up, right? And so from there, we'll talk about what medication you want to get on. Okay. So is it semaglutide? Is it tirzepatide? Tirzepatide is a little bit more expensive. Okay. Semaglutide is going to start off in the area probably around $250 a month. It covers all 4 injections. Semaglutide, I'm sorry, tirzepatide, on the other hand, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. So you're looking at anywhere between 300 to 350, but it's going to escalate. The max you'll get to is 400, and that is like at the highest dose.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
I don't know that we've had somebody actually reach the highest dose, which is like 15 milligrams.
Just to break it down for everybody to understand, I don't want them getting confused. When you say we let them choose, it's not that you're choosing a lesser quality. Basically, both medications do the same thing, right?
Yeah, they're pretty similar. Yeah, one's more aggressive than the other, but we're headed in the same direction. Yeah,
exactly. So the only thing you're looking at here is basically pricing. What best suits your budget, right?
Yes. Are you tight in the wallet right now, and you're willing to take it slow and smooth? Now, some people react different. Some people lose faster on semaglutide. It's based on your body, right?
Right.
And so, we've had them to where they lose more. They're more successful on the semaglutide than they are on tirzepatide.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, man. The success stories that you've shared and Amanda has shared has been tremendous. By numbers wise, when you start calculating those numbers and the amount of pounds people are losing is really, really good. Now the other part of that is how a person starts feeling. I can tell you from my personal experience, folks, I'm down 86 pounds myself. One is my back. My back used to kill me. Don't have to worry about back pains anymore. My knees. Here's the other thing too. What, if you don't mind, Joey, because this is huge. There are some benefits also besides the weight loss that these semaglutides bring in, along with the weight, the advantage of weight loss. There's also some benefits to that semaglutide brings into you as well, right? From a health perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you touch base on that, man?
We have patients who have come to us with high cholesterol, blood pressure issues. They're on a slew of medications. And once they get the weight off and down and they get to a healthy, per se, body mass, right? They go back to the doctor, their blood pressure's under control, their cholesterol is within normal limits, and they're off their medications.
Well, I got to tell you, man, I'm one of those. I got to attest, I was on high blood pressure medication. And quite frankly, folks, it's what we eat. Lo que comemos, ¿no? Los tacos en la mañana, and like you mentioned, man, the chorizo and eggs, and los taquitos tan brutos, man, they're hard to let go. But here's the thing that this medication really helps you with. Even if you want to, it's like, I don't need it right now, man. You feel too full. So you're not sacrificing anything.
You're absolutely right. The semaglutide teaches your brain to eat less.
Yes.
Where the tirzepatide does that, but it also teaches your body to burn better, right? And that's the huge difference between those two. Okay. Now, it's super important that people know that there's going to be some slight side effects, right? And so we try to educate people on those side effects based on my experience and experiences that we've had with other customers, other patients. You're going to take this medication, and what it does is it increases gastric juices in your stomach, right? We try, if you're not a water drinker, we tell you, okay, don't go drinking a ton of water, but you need to start drinking some of that water, increase your fiber. You're going to get, you start off at the beginning of the week, potentially with like diarrhea almost, right? Because you're eating, technically you shouldn't have to change your way of eating, but if you're going to eat dirty, what does that mean, right? If you keep eating the greasy stuff, then it's going to go right through you. It's going to be almost like people that don't have a gallbladder, right? You plan your meals towards the end of your cycle, the end of the week before you have to re-inject, right? If you're not consuming enough water, you end up with some constipation because your body, let's say your stomach is the size of a normal basketball, and you're used to filling that basketball all the time. Your body's used to digesting when it reaches at a certain level. And now you have increased the gastric juices. You're not eating as much because you're feeling full faster. And so it takes your body longer to fill up. So you need that fiber, you need that water to make sure that you can digest it appropriately.
Makes
Um,
sense. Yep.
and so one of the other big things is that you get like sulfur burps, right? From the gas buildup. And so people will will shun away from that. Like, oh man, something's wrong with me or whatever, you know? And I'm like, no, that's just the medication working. For me, that kind of told me like, it's working, you know? And so, but it's crazy how your brain works. And Amanda and I would laugh because I would go to the restaurant and I would order with what I call my fat brain, right? I would
Right.
want the plato
Right.
with the
Well, I've
the
been with you,
taco,
man. I've been with
the
you where you,
yeah.
yeah,
You
like,
order I'm starving. I want the
yeah.
taco with the enchiladas, the chalupa, the whole works.
And then you end up
And
eating
then
as much.
yes, you get started and you're like, whoa, what happened to that hunger?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I tell people call me like, hey, I'm still getting hungry. And I'm like, well, eat. They're like, well, it's not, I said, you're going to realize that you're going to
Yeah.
feed yourself and you're not going to eat anywhere near what you're used
Yeah.
to eating. It's
Yeah.
okay. And the other thing too, is that some people they get nauseous, right? And what it is, it's that your body's hungry and it doesn't know how to interpret that hunger. And so you feel like you're nauseous. You go eat a couple of pretzels, eat something small, something healthy. If you're ever wanting to eat clean, now would be the time to do it. Once you start on this medication, you're gonna realize that goes away. It's just that
Uh-huh.
you were hungry, you know?
Yeah. One of the most important parts I want to touch on, Joy, and maybe you can highlight here the medical aspect of it, man. But one of the things I learned, regardless of what diet you're in, uh, you mentioned water, how important that is, right? And it didn't necessarily have to be, regular water. It could be flavored water. It could be sparkling water, as long as there's water, right? Whatever you prefer. I'm a sparkling water type myself, right? It's got to have some flavor to me, not just regular water. But one of the things I've learned through my journey, man, is the importance of protein intake on a daily basis. So one of my biggest snacks I go to, man, is beef jerky, right? How they have the stick with jerky and a little block of cheese, little package. I don't even get halfway through that, and I'm like, I'm done. But a protein shake is good. Protein shake is going to last you all day. Um, but what I've noticed, man, and this is where I need your expertise on, maybe you can give our viewers a little intake on that, is when I increase my protein intake, it almost like accelerates my metabolism, dude, because I that week I'll go weigh myself like, oh shoot, I dropped an extra 2-3 pounds, man.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're not eating as much and you're eating all the key things. And so your body's burning this stuff off, right? And what happens is that it gives you the energy that you need, that boost. Um,
Yes.
Sometimes a little bit, some pretzels with a little bit of peanut butter, and you get that boost, and you're like, whoa, right? And so you're burning it off faster without even realizing it. Okay. Your calorie intake isn't as high as what it normally would be, right? When
Correct.
you would,
Correct.
you not only are going to eat the meat, but you're eating the buns and the rolls and you're doing all that stuff. Um, you know, I tell people, I forewarn them, you're going to go eat somewhere. Just know that you may not get past the chips on the
Yeah.
table.
It's
Yeah,
happened
you're
to
going
me
to
various
fill up.
times.
Yes.
I tell you, one of my guiltiest pleasures, man, Texas Roadhouse, those hot rolls that come out
Yeah.
with and I used to tear those things up, man, before the meal even got there. Now I get into them, and before the meal gets, it's like, man, I'm full. Why did I do that?
Yep.
You
Yep.
know,
For sure.
but again,
We've worked it all
that,
out. There's a lot of different things. Like for example, um, I know for a fact that alcohol alters the medication a bit. You know, I'm guilty of it too. I'm a whiskey guy. You know, I like me a good old fashioned. But
So
if I
a
go
ver,
out on the
because
weekend, okay,
now you may have
so
some eyebrows go up. It's like, hey,
yeah,
párale,
okay,
bro.
so let's
What's
say
going on?
I'm injecting on Mondays and I'm going, but Friday I'm gonna go out with the boys. I'm gonna have me a couple of drinks. By the end of the evening, I'm gonna be snacking, right? Chips. I'm gonna be, and it's not. I'm not gonna feel normally how I normally do, where I like max out. Okay. Saturday, I may be hungry a little bit in the morning, and I'll be like, "Oh man, what's going on? Eat. It's okay." By Saturday evening or whatever, you're back to normal.
Mm,
And
okay.
so it
All
it, it
right.
does affect you. Some people more than obviously the more you consume, the more alcohol you consume, the longer it's going to take you.
Now, one thing I want to ask you, because before I lose my chain of thought there, man. I've had somebody tell me that when they drank, right? You know how it is, man. You go out to a club, you go to a dance or a concert. Hey, two in the morning, what a burger, what a
Yeah,
burger, no?
yeah.
And they weren't really hungry, but they forced themselves to still eat a small Whataburger. Their comment was, "Dude, I got sick in the dog, man. I felt like crap. I couldn't eat the entire next day, man. I still felt terrible." So, is that a common thing?
Yes, definitely. And you know, we live in the society, especially when us guys who are a little older or ladies who are a little older, we were raised different, right? How many times did you sit at the table and they didn't let you get up because you hadn't finished everything you
Yeah,
wanted to eat?
right.
And so we grow as adults and we still have that mindset. No, but I have to finish everything. There's people starving somewhere.
Yeah.
And so we get on this medication and we still think that way. And what we need to do is realize that your body says, "Hey, yeah, you're done. Stop." Or that would be the biggest thing. You're gonna get sick. Now, if you finish the whole thing, you're gonna feel horrible.
Eesh.
And so, which is kind of productive, right? What's the reason behind this medication? It's supposed to make you feel like you're full.
Yeah,
And
right.
so once you're full, yeah, stop. Yeah, yeah, walk away. Yeah. Learn to take leftovers. Yeah, take them home. Take it home and eat it the next day or later on that day. And so sometimes one meal will last us a long time. You know, we eat a little bit of it. We take it to go, and then before you know it, you're heating it up for dinner, and you're finishing off what you
Nothing
didn't.
wrong with that, man.
Yeah.
All right, brother. So here we're looking at insurance. Insurance, if it pays, I'm 100%
Yeah.
blessed. Take advantage of it.
Yes.
Start your journey. Get healthier. If it doesn't, Texas Family Health Network has Plan B for you, where they can put you on something less expensive out of your pocket. And we're looking anywhere to 250 all the way up to possibly 350, depending on
Put it
how
50,
much
depending on
medication
what.
you require.
Yeah, for sure. We'll
Yeah.
we'll come up with a good plan for you, and with elite rejuvenation. Um, we're also doing a series of things. We've got elite rejuvenation and Texas Family Health really go hand in hand, and so we do the IV therapy. So you're on the weight loss, you don't feel very good. You gotta crew the
Well, let
next
me.
morning.
I was gonna say, let me cover that, but before we do that, man, let me just touch base on my personal experience at Texas Family Health Network. And like I said, everybody, they're a proud sponsor of the show, so I had to go through it myself. And I know you've heard Joey mention her a couple of times, but I definitely want to provide a little bit of spotlight here, which is the person you'll be actually seeing is Amanda Campos, which is a nurse practitioner of Texas Family Health Network. And Amanda goes above and beyond from a customer service standpoint, right? But the minute I walked in to when I was done, the screening, everything else, 100%, you can take my word on it, folks. 20 minutes, I was done. And then after that, I received my call back, said, "Here's your panel. Here's where you're at." And from there, Amanda or Joey will take you through what their recommendations is as far as what they think would be a good fit for you. They'll talk about whether your insurance covered you or not, and if it didn't, says, "Okay, if your insurance didn't cover, but here's Plan B, like we talked about, and this is how much you're looking at, and if that suits you, they'll start you right away." Right? These when I say these folks go above and beyond from a customer service standpoint, your meds, if you need them, I've known for a fact that they've mailed them to you. I've also seen what we call white glove delivery, where they have somebody take it to you personally as well if you need it really bad. So with that being said, folks, it's super easy, and important for us to stay healthy. Now, one of the things that I want to touch base before we get on, Joe, is that at least for me, I want to explain my journeys. I'm down 86 pounds. I did lose a lot of muscle mass. So, and this is for us guys, right? This is the guy thing right here, speaking out, man. That's one thing we don't want to lose. So this is one thing where Joey sat down with me and educated me on what can be done from that perspective. Because mostly they'll say, "Hey, go in and hit the gym, and you'll be fine. You'll build up muscle pretty quick." But some of us are upper in age, right? That it's just not that easy, or it takes a lot longer. Folks, let me tell you, there's Joey can set you up, Amanda can set you up. There's some things called peptides that can really accelerate that and provide some huge benefits for you. So, Joey, would you mind taking us through what the peptides are, man, and what y'all have to offer from that perspective? Because, man, to me, it's been a big difference.
So we offer, like you said, peptides. But when you come in with us and you get on this weight loss journey, we talk about from the get go. We talk about what your goal is and what our options are after your goal. We've been very fortunate. People nowadays, they come to us and they're very educated on what the medication does. So they're already aware, like, your body doesn't necessarily know that you're on a diet, right? And so not only are you going to be, is it going to be eating away at the fat, but it also eats away at the muscle. Like we've seen it, right? Your body wants to store the fat, and so um it doesn't know. It thinks that you could be injured or dying or whatever the case may be. So it starts with the muscle. But the peptides, what it does is that it goes in there and there's a slew of peptides. So we would really need to sit down to see what it is that you're interested in doing, whether it's recovery or whether it's muscle buildup, or it's toning. And so you come in, you sit down with Amanda, and she talks to you about the importance of it's going to be a good screening, right? And it gives you all the pros and the cons and what you could potentially do to increase your muscle mass, right? We also start to talk about your hormone therapy, right?
Huge.
Huge. We're doing a huge hormone. Men and women's health is super important. So along with the panel that you get on your blood work on your regular panels where you're looking at, your cholesterol, all that stuff, we have a separate hormone panel that we really like to look at to see where you're at. Because a lot of the times your hormones is a huge factor. And so we get the hormones under control, you start losing that, especially in men, that mid,
Right.
body, that drift fat, and you start toning up and building muscle. Huge contributor to that is going to be your testosterone, And so it's very taboo, especially in South Texas, to talk about testosterone. Men automatically think that it's about the libido, and it does affect your libido, but not all men are affected in that capacity.
Agree.
Some men, they get up in the morning, they've had 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep, they're driving to work and they're already yawning and they're still tired. And a lot of the times it's because your testosterone is low. It may not affect your sex life or your sex drive, but it affects that energy. At 3:00, you're ready for a nap. I can probably tell you that it's going to be, and you've already got your weight under control. It's going to be either we have issues with your sleep patterns. You're not sleeping properly because of sleep apnea. We need to address that, or your testosterone is low. And so we run each panel.
TRT's become more popular, Joe. I know you mentioned it was kind of taboo, but you're starting to see more and more throughout social media, TV commercials, radio ads, where it's become more prominent in the men's world, where men have already said, you know what, it's not a bad thing. If anything, there's been some huge advantages of TRT from a building perspective too, man, as far as muscle mass and stuff like that.
We went on this hormone therapy kind of push, we've teamed up with BioT. And so we are offering, it's life changing. Not only is life changing, but we're able to offer the pellets. Um, let's talk a little bit about the pellets. And I'll tell you that when it comes down to not just men, but if you are a female, whether it's late 30s, early 40s, into your 50s, 60s, um, or maybe you're a younger female and you've gone through some issues. You had maybe a hysterectomy, or some issues like that, and you're lacking those hormones. And so you really need to get these panels under control. You need to look at your panels to see where you're at, because that's where your mood swings come from. That's where the lack of sex drive. There may not be no sex drive whatsoever, and it's not your spouse, and it's not any of that. It's that your wife doesn't have those hormones that are needed.
Right.
And so
Right.
we bring you in, we run those panels, and these pellets will go into small procedure. It's surgically done. We do it there in the office. 25. I mean, Amanda does amazing work, man. We're looking at about 25 minutes max. You're in and out, and we don't stitch you up. It's all steri stripped, and we give you the instructions and the information that you need. And in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, people are like they've come to us and are like, it's changed our life completely.
I've heard positive feedback from it for both, and guys, this goes for you as well. I know Joey mentioned female, but there's pellets for men from a
Yes.
testosterone perspective and
Yes.
hormonal perspective too, right?
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. And so it's more like, for me, I'll give you an example. I have the pellets. Okay. And it's a convenient thing for me, because sometimes a weekly injection, as busy as I could be in the
Right.
schedule and this and that,
Right.
I'll forget, and you don't want to miss out on that consistent therapy. And
Right.
so, I'm going to put the pellets in, and it releases slowly throughout 6 months. I take the vitamins that go associated that, so the pellets can last a little longer, and the results are, I mean, the energy is unbelievable.
So you mentioned a
Unbelievable.
key word there that I want to make sure and everybody understands. So once you get these pellets, pellet treatment, you're good for literally half a year.
For men, yeah. Women, you're not going to get as much testosterone, in women. Um, the levels are completely like they're two sides of the spectrum. So for women, it's every 3 months. For men, it's every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now the unfortunate thing is that insurances are not covering it, right? So it's going to be a cash pay thing, and it could be a little pricey sometimes. But when people come in and they see the results, they're like, I don't care, like I'll
Yeah.
get it done.
Yeah.
And so and now we actually have two huge announcements that we're going to be making today here
All
on
right,
the
man.
show. So
Let's get
we're
it.
going to be doing we're officially going to be launching a testosterone optimizing program. All right, it's designed for men. This is strictly for men, okay, who are dealing with low energy, brain fog, low libido, difficulty building up muscle, or just feeling like they're not themselves anymore. Okay, and so you're going to come in. We're going to do, and let's say you don't have insurance, okay, or you don't think your insurance is going to cover any of this. If you have insurance, your insurance will cover all your panels. But if not, we're going to do your initial visit. It's going to be $125. Okay, you'll come in. We'll get. This is going to include the visit with Amanda, the nurse practitioner. It's going to include your lab work and a full evaluation. Okay, and it's good. This is no, cookie cutter program by
Right.
far. It's going to be
Very
a full
detailed.
customized to you specifically.
Mhm.
Once we get the lab panels back, then we'll figure out how much testosterone we need to put you on. Now, for the most part, it's super important that you know that a lot of offices in the past, and things are changing, but for the most part, a men's, their testosterone, the normal testosterone is between 300 and 900. Okay. If you go and you get your lab work done, you're going to come back. Let's say you come back at 310. Okay. 305. All right. most offices are going to tell you that you are low normal. You're
Okay.
5 points away from being abnormal. Okay. We don't want you at 305.
Right.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I don't even want you at 900. I want you at 1100, 1200.
Vámonos.
I want you
Yeah.
fully optimized. Okay.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's not going to get covered because you're low normal at 305. But who wants to be barely normal? Okay.
No, and you
And
mentioned
so,
some key parts here, man. Who wants to have that brain fog, man? Who wants to be at 3 o'clock drained without any energy and anything like that? So it's like, you're right, man. Why do you want to be right there when you could be right here and get that pip back in?
yep. You want to be fully optimized. You be rocking and rolling. You want to utilize this whole day that you have to be fully functional. And
Agree.
you're going to see that it's going to be, you're going to start waking up early. You're going to be incorporating maybe an exercise before you even think about going to work. And so that 125 will cover your labs, your full evaluation, and your consult. And then once we get your plan, you're going to come in and you're going to have a weekly injection, and we're doing this. This is huge, man. We're doing a weekly injection. Let's say you're going to need 100 milligrams of testosterone weekly. It's $50 a week. You come in,
$50 a week?
50 a
Wow.
week. Yeah.
Dude, I've heard how much testosterone is, bro.
Mhm.
That is unreal, dude.
Yep. $50 a week. You come in. We do a quick little consult to make sure we're still on track, and you get your injection, and off you go.
Guys, no
Yep.
no excuse, man. Before we could understand, man, it was a little bit of taboo. Now we know it's everywhere. For $50 a week, man, to feel like $1,000,000, sign me up, brother.
Yep.
Sign me up. Wow.
Yeah. Now let's
So
say
when
we start working on this plan. We're increasing you. Let's say we have to increase you throughout the plan. At the most you'll pay is $75 a week. That gets you 200 milligrams of testosterone.
wow. No me vas a andar
And
como el Incredible Hulk, ¿puesto con eso?
yeah, and it's very important that it's very important that your listeners know that we're monitoring your process, and so we'll need to do lab works again, right? And because when you take testosterone, your body starts to build up, red blood cells, and so we want to make sure you're at a safe level, okay?
Mhm. Mhm.
And there's things that we're going to ask you to do. There's it's a very safe process, and it's nothing that's going to be crazy, right?
So
And so
when does this start, man? When
we're going to
when are
start.
you when are you actually launching this thing?
So we're going to launch this on Monday, the 12th, January 12th.
Gotcha.
Along with that, okay, along with this testosterone optimizing program that we're going to launch on the 12th, we're going to alter our hours a little bit. So Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. You're going to come in. The office is going to be open. You can come in and visit, consult, come and see us. Make a phone call, get everything situated. Sometimes we'll ask you to, send us your information. We'll get you approved. We'll get you transferred over so that you know that you're approved when you come in, and then we set up your appointment. So the office staff is phenomenal. They're able to work with you and do whatever you need to do. Christy is amazing. She knows all the ins and outs, and so she'll take care of you guys even before you get into the office. But something huge that we're going to be doing. So now Monday through Friday, after we close at 5, our telehealth medicine is going to be open till midnight.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So any need I have during the night, I'm not feeling well. Pick a phone,
Mhm.
call you guys. You guys take
Pick
care
up
of
a
me.
phone. Yep. I will give you the number that you can call. You'll call, you'll give us information, and then we're gonna put you in the system. You'll get a link. You click on that link, and you'll be face to face with Amanda, and she's gonna take care of your immediate needs. It's I don't want to call it emergent, but it's pretty acute. I mean, it's going to be pretty acute. Like, we're going to be able to do it pretty quickly, and so we're able to she's going to be able to evaluate you, send you a script to the pharmacy, and and even order an X-ray if we have to. Now, the only other thing is that you're gonna those office hours and whatever pharmacy you decide to go with. Now you're at the mercy of those hours.
Exactly, man.
But at least the wheels are in motion.
So
Yeah.
basically, it's like basically visiting a doctor, but instead from your home, saying like you said. Now, I'm a prime example of that. I don't know whether y'all heard me whether the mic picked it up or not, but I got the snizzles. I've been down. I was out sick a couple of days ago, and still trying to get over it with that bug. And as I said, Texas Family Health Network is my sponsor, so I made a call. I was the first one to say, Amanda, I'm down. Here's what I need. And needless to say, I'm able to do this podcast because it's brought me up to where I need to be in a matter of days, right? So it does work, folks. Super easy. And I guess it definitely beats having to wait till the morning and see if there's an opening, whether all you do is pick up the phone. Phone number, Joy.
Yeah, the phone number is going to be, our office number is going to be 361-201-2025. And the telehealth number after hours, I'll get that for you here in a minute. I have it written down. It's a new number, so I haven't memorized it yet, but I'll get it to you. That way you can put it up on the screen. And,
For sure. Yeah.
And they can have that number. Yeah.
And that goes all the way through midnight, folks. So keep that in mind. And to all our musicians out there, man, ya ves, we're on the road. You're not feeling well, man. Pick up the phone, call Joey, call Amanda, telehealth. They'll take care of you. There's always a CVS. I know there's several pharmacies that stay open pretty late that you might be able to pick up that script. But again, I want to mention it's important. It's all depending on where you're at and whether you have a pharmacy that's open that late. So, because you're going to have to wait till the morning, right? But at least you'll have that script. They'll have that script ready for you to process early in the morning, which is great. So yeah, provide me the number, man. And telemedicine, that's starting to midnight hours. When is that kicking out, Joy?
On the 12th as well.
On the 12th also. So, okay.
Yes. Yeah, we'll be primed up and ready to go on the 12th. And so we're excited about it. Now, mind you, there's going to be certain, I need you guys to be very, very, understand that if it's something like, you need something like insulin or something like for a chronic condition, we'll try our best to help. But that is really something that needs to be hands-on. If it's something that we need to put our hands on it, we're going to tell you, hey, we need to really see you in the office, right?
Long story short, brother, I'm having chest pains. I don't need to be calling telehealth. I need to be going to the ER.
No.
Yep.
No. Now, if you come into the office, you're having chest pain, we're going to tell you, hey, we're working you up right now, but we're getting you sent to the hospital. So ambulance is on the way, but by the time they get there, you're probably going to have an IV already. You're going to be probably getting some aspirin, some nitro from the office staff, and you're going to be having an EKG. So we kind of have a picture of what's going on, right? But there's certain things that I'm not going to lie to you. There's certain things we cannot do in the office, which is like continuous lab work, keeping track of your troponin levels, things like that. That needs to be done in the emergency room where it's an urgent thing. That's something that's super important that we get you out there.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
This is great. This is really
we're
good.
super excited. We've got a 2-year-old, so the wife's with a little one, but none of this could have been done without her. She is really the fuel and the tools and the tires and everything that has this thing rolling.
Yeah, one of the things I like, I got to say, man, that the way that you all run your business is good old-fashioned customer service, man. You guys go above and beyond to make everybody feel welcomed. And it's almost like the old school doctors where you had a relationship with a doctor. It's not one of those things to where they just come in with a clipboard, boom, boom, here you go. Yeah, it there, right? And that's one thing I really admire Amanda and you all for doing, to ensuring that from the front office all the way to the back, man, everything, they treat you with respect. And how would I say this? With a lot of care. They truly do care for you. So you're going to have a great relationship with Texas Family Health Network. Now, I don't know if you saw the podcast. Well, there's been a few, but I was mentioning this. We touched base on it, and we skipped to this one, man. But it's important to mention now here before we close off, man. Another huge benefit that y'all offer to. I was talking to my compadrito Pete Astudillo, and Pete's from Laredo. And when I mentioned you guys as a sponsor, he goes, "Hey, I didn't know that, man. A veces me paro por ahí, right? I'll go visit him." And I was telling Pete about your IV therapies on how important that's been for me as well. And when you guys come and visit, I always make sure you guys pack a couple for me to give me to get me boosted up. But a few examples of that, folks, that I told Pete is like, well, if you're ever on the road, man, and you're not feeling well, you feel like you're coming down with something, go in there. Joey's gonna take care of you, man. So andas crudo, papa. He's gonna pick you up. You're not feeling well, they're gonna pick you up. And then if you want all the other vitamin B12s and everything else, all that's included in there. So talk to us a little bit about IV therapy, bro, because we've seen them in Vegas. In Vegas, they're mostly utilized for hangovers, right? Everybody takes advantage of that, but there's more benefits to IV therapy than just the hangover therapy, correct?
Yeah, for sure. Well, everything, in your body is going to be electrolyte based. I mean, it's going to be electrolyte driven, you know. You see the sports drinks. That's why Gatorade and all these big companies are so
Yeah.
successful, right? Because they got all the good stuff in the drinks. And then they've made it nice and juicy and nice, good flavors and everything. And so for us, we offer a slew of vitamins and a slew of IV therapy conditions. And so, from the occasional ring at the door at the office for 6 or 7 construction workers out in the heat, we've taken them all in. We pumped them up full of electrolytes, and we do it on a safe. We don't just start an IV and give you a bunch of fluids and vitamins. You're gonna do it. We're gonna do a quick assessment on you. We're gonna make sure that one, your body is capable of taking the fluids and the vitamins. We do a quick background check to make sure you're not on any kind of invasive therapy already. If you're taking a big dose of hormones or stuff like that, it's super important that we slow things down because we don't want to overhydrate you or give you too much of what you already have. And so some people come in and they don't necessarily have any of the symptoms, but they want an IV therapy just because they think it can make them better. Those are the ones that we really pump the brakes and we're like, hey, we're not just going to make a quick buck off of you. It's super important that we check you out to make sure that we're doing. A lot of the times, 9 times out of 10, the people that come in the office, they really, really need them. So we have hangover infusions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You had a long weekend and you need to get back to work the next day. We come in, get evaluated, your blood pressure is under control, everything's good, and we're going to get you hydrated. We're going to give you those electrolytes and those vitamins that you need to get that stuff out of your system, and in a matter of 3 to 4 hours, you're ready to roll. Sometimes they just come in here, they're starting to feel ill. We have an immune infusion, and that will get you back on your feet in a couple of hours. The IV infusions are huge. We have a recovery package for our high school athletes, and especially around track season, powerlifting season, we take into consideration, we cut the prices in half. We do a recovery infusion along with the Normatec boots, right? They're just inflatable boots that go on the kids' legs and they inflate and they remove the lactic acid from their muscles while they're getting an IV. And so that has been very, very successful.
Let me tell you something, man. I've seen it myself. In fact, when I went there for my screening, you were doing an athlete, a football player. You were taking care of a football player, getting IV treatment. But folks, I got to tell you something. If you have either a son or daughter that's an athlete, a relative, anything else, when I say state of the art, this is stuff that colleges are doing. As far as how quickly they rebuild their athletes back up, right? Texas Family Health Network is on a whole nother level from that perspective when it comes down to that. So make sure and reach out to them and let them know what you're facing or what your son or daughter has or whatever. And this may be exactly what they need, man, because our biggest mistake we don't take enough water intake. And that's one thing I was telling, me and Pete were talking about when we're talking is like, musicians, man, they're in the stage, they're moving, they're dancing, the lights are hot, they're sweating up a storm. He goes, compadre, I don't drink enough water, man. And the next day I feel like drained, bro. It's like, estás dehydrated, man.
You're absolutely right. And a lot of the issues is that, one, we're not able to consume water fast enough.
Yes.
And we're putting it out faster than we're taking it in. Because in all reality, there's only so much water you can take in. and then it gets complicated, right? And so you're losing it faster than you're replacing it, and that's where we get into complications. And so, yeah, we're definitely here to help. We've been very fortunate. We've been all over the place. We even got the opportunity to do the PBR rodeo guys. That was a treat. And then the athletes, it's always a pleasure to see kids when powerlifting time, man. They're trying to maintain weight. They're dehydrated. They're not eating. They come in and we get them optimized to be able to be at their full performance and not affect their weight at all. And so,
Well, estamos hablando full package aquí, papa. Everything from
for sure.
from your daily need to, again, state of the art medication and recovery aspect of it. So, Joe, let's cover as far as before we leave, man. Social media platforms where they could visit and follow you guys for the most recent updates and what you guys are offering.
Yeah, for sure. We have Texas Family Health Network. We're on Facebook. Elite Rejuvenation is on Facebook as well. And so we do a lot of posting on there. Like I said, we whatever journey you're on, it's when it comes out to Elite Rejuvenation, we just try to put what we're available, what we're doing. We're not posting people. We're not doing any of that. I feel like that's your journey to tell, whether you choose to or not. When it comes down to Texas Family Health, we're doing a lot of education. Everything's private when it comes down to the medical world. You know, HIPAA really has this locked down. So we do all our marketing stuff based on the information that we have. We try to do seasonal stuff, but yeah, those are two areas where you can find us. We're gonna be trying to do some things with some musicians in the future, and we're definitely planning to do a lot more things here with with your podcast. So we're super excited and blessed. Above all else, beyond blessed. Yeah, for sure.
I agree, brother. I think I'm going to be down there mid-February, early February. So I may take you out through the journey. I may film it and take you all through that screening process so you can actually see how easy it is and actually see what that TRT treatment phasing is and so forth, and post it up here so you can see how simple, quick, and effective it's going to be. So we may take you on that journey too, but more to come on that. But in the meantime, Joey, hey, thanks for jumping on, man. Any special goodbyes or shout outs for anybody you'd like to make maybe before we leave?
We've been blessed to have to be part of a amazing community. You and I grew up. We're from San Diego, right?
Yeah.
Home of the Vaqueros.
Yes, sir.
And there's something about San Diego, man. Once you're vaquero, always a vaquero, right?
That's it.
And so
that's it.
We are in Allen, Texas, an amazing community. They support us 100%. I can't say enough about this community. We're blessed to be there. And of course, thank you to our supporters. Thank you to our family, and thank you, Ruben, for having me on here. I wish Amanda could be on here. She just wanted to make sure I tell everybody that she really appreciates the support and the backup. And like I said, for me, it's all about her. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her.
No, for sure, brother. And what I'm going to do is in fact, right now, put it up here, a little snippet of her picture so everybody could see it right there on the screen. That is your nurse practitioner, Amanda, that's going to be taking care of you as you go visit. And trust me on this, folks, whether it's in person or telehealth, take advantage of the great service. And most importantly, make note that your health always comes first. Joey, truly a pleasure to have you, man. You take care of yourself, brother. We'll be in touch, okay?
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
All right,
we'll see
man.
you guys.